Hi guys, it's Janet with the Living Room Talks. I have a special panel today. I have a couple of EDAC presidents, current and former. First, Keith Garnett, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, Keith Garnett, former EDAC member, EDAC chair, big supporter of EDAC, working internationally now in Beijing, China, in the CBA, and that's about it.
Daryl, you're next. Introduce yourself.
Hi, Daryl Conway. I am the current chair of EDAC. My day job is at the University of Michigan, where I oversee health and welfare.
So first question, Keith, talk about your experience as the EDAC chair. What were some highs? What were some lows?
We don't have enough time for all of that information, but I will give you a couple of things that I think I'm most proud of. Obviously, the people that we had on our committee over the years were fantastic. I mean, they've helped in so many ways. They've continued to blossom and do things outside of EDAC that promote the profession and the diversity motto. So super proud of that. I think the two things that come to mind mostly is the scholarship endowments we got from John Mays and Dave Perrin. I think that was a step in the right direction to try and continue to promote diversity within our profession forever. And for those guys stepping up and doing that, it was fantastic. And again, the staff, all the EDAC members were instrumental in making that happen. So that's probably my biggest thing, is, you know, as well as our career day. But I think that really started with Veronica, and we just kind of expanded on that.
So Daryl, you've been at the position a couple months now. What is your experience thus far?
Experience has been fine so far because it's been a summer and everybody really haven't gotten going. But I'll echo what Keith has said about just the people. Not only just the 11 or 12 that are on the committee, but you know, I'm looking and I will be reaching back out to everybody who was on the committee before and having some level of involvement and continued involvement in EDAC, because I don't, you know, it takes a village, and it's always taken a village, and it will continue taking a village to move what we're trying to do forward.
Keith, question to you. In the time that you've been involved in EDAC, what do you think the biggest changes have been?
You know, and usually it's funny you say that. I was thinking about that the other day, just how long I'd actually been on the committee, and I still don't have the exact date. All I remember is Veronica. She was the chair at the time, and she asked me to come on board as a District 5 rep. And I was like, yeah, I have nothing better to do. I'll go see what these people are talking about. And it seemed like it's never ended. So it's been a long time, but I think obviously the numbers, it was the biggest thing, is the biggest difference. You know, we started out, we just made our way into a conference room. So there was enough of us to get going. And then obviously we blossomed and we keep going. So it's good to see now that we finally have the young people, their committee involved. We have the international students involved. We have the, you know, different ethnic groups finally involved. It's not just the Black people's committee. It's expanded, and it's kind of grown from, you know, into what we wanted to, you know. If you go back to Frank and Phil Horton and all those guys, and that wanted to see this kind of come to fruition before they left the profession, it's finally getting to that point. It's good to see.
Daryl, what were your initial thoughts when you were appointed chair?
You know, honestly, it was little bit of worry, because I'm following in the footsteps of my colleagues, my mentors, my friends who've all done incredible work, and really pushed EDAC forward, and taking over at the time that I'm taking over at, and taking over from Keisha, who did incredible work in her 4 years. Just worry of, what would I do? What am I gonna be able to do? What bumpers are gonna be put on? What roadblocks from NATA or the BOC or Katie are gonna be put forward? What other challenges are we gonna face with a pandemic and other things? And this understanding that there's, we've come a long way, but there's still a long way to go. There's still a lot of work, to get to that people started before and have made a lot of progress, but still a lot of work to do.
Question for the both of you, and it's something that I think about too. What is a win when it comes to EDAC? What would be an achievement?
For me, a win would be that we're no different. Like a lot of the things we're dealing with because of there's ethnic diversity and people see that. And that's what the roadblock is. But, we're dealing with diverse representation at meetings, diverse representation in journals, diverse representation in the NATA news. A win would be that, when I don't have to get my NATA news and flip through to see if there's ethnically diverse pictures in the NATA news. A win would be when I, go to a meeting and, I'm not the only ethnically diverse person who's speaking at the meeting, that we're represented, that it's, we're represented the same level as everyone else. Those are what I would consider a win, is that when, when you look at the honors and awards and they're ethnically diverse people in all categories across the board, when you look at an NATA committee or NATA leadership or NATA boardroom, and it's represented with ethnically diverse individuals at all times, not, we spend a lot of time doing a leadership report in EDAC to demonstrate that there's a lack of ethnic diversity in leadership in the NATA. Well, you know what? A win would be when I don't have to do that, or we don't have to do that. And because there is, we aren't trying to compare ourselves. There's just, anywhere you look in the NATA committee, NATA Hall of Fame, NATA Most Distinguished, NATA Awards, NATA Journal, NATA Convention, there's ethnic diversity there without being pushed to have ethnic diversity. Like, I shouldn't have to look at a newly formed committee in the NATA and send an email as to, hey, why isn't there any ethnic diversity in this committee? Like, that's automatic. That should be automatic, just like it is for other levels within the NATA committee. And my line that I always use is, we would never publish the NATA news and there not be a female athletic trainer in any of the pictures. We just wouldn't. Maybe 30, 40 years ago, that was the case. But right now, there would never be an NATA news, an NATA website, any level of committee, anything in the NATA, and there not be a female involved. Well, that's where we need to get to with ethnic diversity, that there would never be anything done in NATA and there's not ethnic diversity involved in it.
I can't even, I can't do anything better than that. He hit every nail on the head that comes to mind, and it's the same fight we've all been fighting. It continues. And so all of those same concerns are exactly what Daryl said. So if we can ever get to that point, if we, again, I'll step one step further and say it takes leadership. It takes the president, it takes the board of directors, it takes everybody to step up and say, we're going to do something different. But the same old nonsense that we've done for year after year after year has to change. And put your money where your mouth is and actually make it happen.
So I've had interesting conversations with ethnically diverse athletic trainers. And one of the comments that I've heard is, I'm just an athletic trainer. I'm not a Black one. I'm not an Asian one. I'm not a Hispanic one. I'm not a Native American one. I'm just an athletic trainer. What do you say to those athletic trainers?
You're exactly right. That's exactly what you are. But just like in society at this point, you are judged by the color of your skin and where you come from, not about how good you are, your knowledge base, your level of empathy and caring for your students. It doesn't matter. People see you as one thing, and that's where you're pigeonholed. We have to get out of that, especially in our profession. It's okay for society to see us that way, but for us to see each other that way is a problem. And like Daryl said, we got to get past that. We got to get to a point where everything in our organization reflects our population. And once we do that, then these students will actually have a place to go and feel comfort. Hey, you know what? We got your back. But where do they go now? I mean, who do they turn to? Like you said, Janet, they turn to you and say, well, I'm a Black, or I'm a Hispanic, or I'm an Asian. Yeah, I get the same thing over here. It's hard to believe, but there's 3 or 4 Asians over here that are certified by the NATA or by the BOC. And it's the same thing. Well, I'm an Asian athletic trainer. There's no place for me in the States. What are you talking about? Of course there is. So we have to get past that. But Daryl, I'll defer to you.
No, I mean, I think Keith said it the best. I mean, I guess my initial response will be, if I'm driving down the road, I'm just a driver. But guess what? When that police officer pulls me over, I have probably a 20-30% likelihood or greater chance of being killed by the police because I'm a Black man driving. So yes, that is true, but your ethnicity and your ethnic diversity is the one thing that people can see right away. And so yes, and I do believe as a Black man, as a Asian athletic trainer, as a Hispanic athletic trainer, you have a responsibility. One of the things I always talk about is be a mentor and have a mentor. People mentored you, people took you under their wing when you were coming up in the profession, and people still take me under their wing now. I'm 28 years in. So you have a responsibility to reach back and take somebody else under their wing. Somebody, I can remember my first convention. I'm just an African-American student walking, and all of a sudden Bernard James, Billy Hill, Ricky Hayes, John Mays, John Harvey were all standing there talking, and they like, hey, come over here. Where are you going? And you're going to the EDAC meeting tonight. And they took me under their wing and showed me the way to go, showed me how to be a professional, showed me how to do a lot of things that weren't taught in school. It's my responsibility when I see somebody walking at the convention to, hey, come on over here. Let me introduce myself. Where are you in school? Do you know about EDAC? Here's a way to help network. And I think that's just everybody's responsibility to be a mentor and to have a mentor. You're on mute, Janet.
Of course I am. It's got to be at least one time that one of us do it.
Yeah, fix yourself now.
Yes, sir. So to close off this talk, Keith, any last words for Daryl?
No, I really hopefully one of these days we get to a point where we can actually have a convention again. And it would be really nice to see all those different ethnicities in the same room, to actually have a town hall meeting or an EDAC meeting and have everyone attend. And we can even just forgo the agenda and just actually have a good, open dialogue. And remember, Daryl might remember, we used to have open mic. Of course, we got off the rails a few times back in the day, but I think this would be fun just to get together and actually have and welcome everybody and say, hey, you know what, this is your safe space. And come here and vent, come here and be mentored too, and mentor us as well. I mean, even though now we're the older group, we can still learn a few things. So, but no, enjoyed EDAC. I think Daryl's going to take it to a new level. It's going to be fantastic, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed my time, and hey, my time's not over. I'm still going to do whatever I can to help.
And Daryl, your final words?
I'll echo Keith's comments, and that's a great idea. That's less work for me to do for the convention if we just have an open mic night at the town hall. I like that idea. I actually wrote it down. What I've said all along is it just can't be the 12 people on EDAC right now. I can't reiterate enough, it takes a village. We need everybody involved. We need everybody beating the drum. We need everybody talking the talk and everybody getting involved as much as we can. We really need to push. We need to push basically the NATA, and that's not just going to come from 12 people on the committee. That's going to come from every single person questioning why there's no diversity in a journal. Every single person questioning why at a district meeting there's no diversity. Why at a district meeting, we'll have 15 concussion talks, but not one talk on cultural competency. It just can't be, the 12 members of EDAC doing that. We truly need everybody, and I'll be reaching out to everybody and putting calls out to everybody to get involved. And it doesn't mean that you have to be involved to the level that you are on the EDAC committee, but maybe it's just being involved for 1 hour or being involved for, or as a liaison to this group or a liaison to that group or a thought person, a think tank, whatever, giving your feedback when we need it, and really just pulling people up and being that mentor, and really making a sense of community among EDAC.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate it, and I always learn by listening. So, guys, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
All right, you'll be good. Thank you.